Help me! Someone, please! It bit me!
Snake charmers set up their baskets in the busy square, flutes ready to call cobras into dance for tourists and locals alike. But hidden in the crowd, unnoticed among the performers, was a maid who did not belong to the stage. Her name was Amira. She worked in the homes of the wealthy, scrubbing floors until her hands were raw and washing clothes until her back ached. She owned nothing but the garments she wore and the strength in her body. No jewels sparkled on her skin, no audience applauded her. Yet within her lived something rare, a gift that was both dangerous and extraordinary. Amira had been born with an ability unlike any other. While charmers needed flutes and drums, she needed nothing more than her eyes and her breath. If she stared into the eyes of a snake, it froze. If she hummed softly under her breath, the serpent swayed as though caught in a spell. This power, passed down from her grandmother, was spoken of in hushed tones, for it was not a skill that could be taught. It was a secret of blood. But Amira was not proud of her ability. She was cautious, even afraid of it. She thought of it as a burden, more than a blessing. Prince Anurak was a figure of elegance. His presence was calm, his laughter warm, and his kindness unmatched. Children ran to him in the palace gardens, where he fed birds and played with them, as if he were not royal at all, but a simple man of the people. Yet, despite his warmth, the prince was sheltered. Guarded by traditions and palace walls, he had never faced the harsh dangers of the world. But danger did not care for status. Thailand, though a kingdom of beauty, was also home to serpents as deadly as those in the deserts of Morocco. King cobras, longer than a grown man, slid silently through forests and fields. Villages hired charmers who coaxed these snakes with rhythm and music, putting on shows for locals and tourists. Their craft was respected, their skill feared. The call for a grand festival echoed across nations. Thailand declared a celebration of cultural friendship, inviting distant lands to share their art, their music, and their traditions. Morocco was among the honored guests, sending storytellers, dancers, and musicians to the Golden Palace of Bangkok. Amira, still only a maid, was chosen to serve the Moroccan delegation. She had no say in the matter. She packed her simple belongings and followed her masters onto the ship that carried them across seas she had never imagined crossing. When she stepped into Thailand, her eyes widened. Marrakesh was beautiful in its own way, but Thailand was a dream of color and light. Temples rose like mountains of gold. Elephants painted in vibrant patterns walked in processions. Lanterns floated into the night sky like stars being released from human hands. Amira marveled but remained invisible, as maids often are. On the night of the festival, the palace glittered with thousands of lights. Music filled the courtyards, drums and flutes echoing under the moon. Amira carried trays of food and water, slipping silently behind silk curtains, watching the splendor from the shadows. It was then that Prince Anurak wandered into the palace garden. He wanted peace, a moment away from the noise of celebration. The garden was quiet, perfumed with night-blooming jasmine. He walked beneath lanterns that swayed in the warm air. And then it happened. A hiss broke the silence. From the darkness, a cobra slid into the prince's path, its hood spreading wide, its body coiled with deadly intent. The courtiers screamed, rushing to call the charmers who had performed earlier. Flutes played frantically, but the cobra ignored the music, its gaze fixed on the prince. The snake struck. Prince Anurak cried out, collapsing to the ground as venom spread through his veins. Panic shattered the garden, guards shouted, servants wailed. The charmers kept playing, but their notes fell useless against the fury of the cobra. And in that chaos, one maid stepped forward. Amira's heart pounded, but her body moved with certainty. She walked past screaming courtiers, past trembling charmers whose flutes faltered, and stepped directly into the path of the cobra. She had no flute, no drum, only her breath. She knelt slowly, her eyes locking on the serpent's gaze. The crowd gasped. What was this servant doing? Had she lost her mind? The cobra froze. Its body stiffened, its eyes fixed on hers. Slowly it swayed, caught in an unseen rhythm. Amira hummed, soft and low, her voice barely rising above the night air. The sound was like the desert wind, gentle, endless, entrancing. The snake lowered its hood, its hiss faded, it coiled back, retreating into the shadows of the garden until it was gone. But the danger was not over. Prince Anorak lay trembling, his skin pale, sweat covering his brow. The venom coursed through him, and the palace healers rushed forward with herbs. Yet their hands shook. Their remedies faltered. The bite was too deep, the poison too strong. Amira remembered her grandmother's teachings. Snakes gave venom, but nature gave its cure. She called for honey, for salt, for crushed leaves. She mixed them with her hands, pressing them against the wound, whispering words older than memory. She drew the venom out bit by bit, her actions swift and sure, though her heart raced with fear. Minutes stretched like hours. The garden held its breath. Then, slowly, the prince's trembling eased. His breathing steadied, his eyes fluttered open, staring into the night sky. The silence was deafening. Then the cheers began, rising like thunder. The Moroccan maid had saved the Thai prince. Word of the event spread through the palace like wildfire. How could trained Thai charmers, with their years of practice and their sacred rhythms, fail, while a maid from Morocco succeeded? The king summoned Amira to the throne room. She came trembling, still dressed in her maid's plain clothes, her head bowed low. The hall was filled with courtiers and nobles, their eyes fixed on her. The king rose from his golden throne and bowed his head in respect. The gesture shocked the court. Then Prince Anorak stepped forward. His hand reached for Amira's, steady and strong. His voice carried through the hall. "This girl is no mere maid," he declared. "She is a sister of fate." The court erupted in whispers, but none dared oppose him. From that day forward, Amira was no longer invisible. She became a bridge between Morocco and Thailand. She shared the secrets her grandmother had passed down: remedies for venom, ways to calm serpents, the knowledge hidden in silence. In return, she learned patience and balance from Thai monks, wisdom that softened her fears. The story of the Moroccan maid and the Thai prince became a bond between nations, written not in ink, but in courage.